Today's reading is from the second letter of Timothy, chapter 1, verses 1 to 3 and 6 to 12. And by popular request, well, at least one or two people have asked, we have another episode of George and the Dragon. I'll come to that in a moment. Paul told Timothy not to be ashamed of being a protege of a man imprisoned and awaiting trial for his life, nor of the gospel which he represented. This does remind us of Jesus' example, who was notorious for hanging out with the very worst kind of people. Dodgy types, disreputable, not the kind you might want to be associated with. He eats with tax collectors and sinners, they said of him in disgust. We're quite used to this in the gospel, so perhaps it's lost its impact on us. Jesus didn't care who you saw him with. He was completely unconcerned about what impression he gave. Not many of us, perhaps, can manage to be this indifferent about others' opinions of us. Our friend St. George was no exception to this. He made friends with the dragon, but if you remember, he made the dragon promise not to tell anyone because, well, he was ashamed of associating with a dragon. He thought it would ruin his reputation, his image. How long, I wonder, can this secret be kept? One day, George and the dragon were out in the forest having a nice walk and catching up. Then they saw another dragon coming. "Oops! I can't be seen with you, dragon. It would ruin my reputation. I'll be a laughingstock. Quick, pretend we're not together." "Wait, George, I'm sure that's not really necessary. Oh, he's gone into the bushes. Meanwhile, the dragon greets the newcomer. "Hi, nice day." "Morning. Who's that over there? Isn't that St. George?" "Oh, it might be. But surely he's terribly dangerous for us dragons. Aren't you going to breathe fire or something? Has he seen you yet?" "Oh, yes, he did see me. He's sort of getting ready, sharpening his sword, you know, that kind of thing." "Well, great, a chance to get in first. Why don't you blast him?" "Ah, well, that wouldn't be cricket really, would it? I mean, don't you know, it's only fair to give him a chance to prepare." "Were you talking to him just now? I thought I heard voices." Just passing the time of day, you know, while he was, sorting out his sword and things." Actually, it looks to me like he's not even wearing armour. Has he even got a sword with him?" "Well, now you come to mention it, I believe he left it behind." "He doesn't look dangerous at all. Maybe those stories are just exaggerated. He looks pretty harmless to me." "Oh yes, he is. I mean, that is to say, you could be right." "Hey, just a minute. You're not frightened of him. You weren't even going to fight him. There's something funny going on here. Oi, you, George, come out of those bushes. Let's see you properly." "Sorry, George. I did try, but the truth will out." How much more foolish will George look now than he would have done if he had been up front to start with? Do not be ashamed, then, of the testimony about our Lord or of me, his prisoner, but join with me in suffering for the gospel.